I'm Dorothea Lance. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist with PWSA USA, and I'm here with one of our amazing advocates and member of our Advocacy Work Group Committee, Charles Conway. Charles, you want to take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Charles Conway. Pleased to be here. Advocate volunteer for PWSA. Again, just glad to be here. I'm out in Virginia, so if anybody out here, just hit me up.
And I'm in Miami if anybody wants to hit me up. But you guys know how to find me. If you can't find me, I'm sure Charles can help you find me.
Absolutely.
So we just wanted to talk a little bit about our upcoming DC fly-in, our first ever Washington, DC fly-in that's coming this September. We are super excited. This is just an opportunity. We're hoping to get about 50 advocates there. If we can get more, great. But, we're hoping for 50 representation from throughout the United States. It's going to provide our advocates an opportunity to really engage with elected officials, on their home turf in Washington, D.C., and just kind of get our feet wet and start to give PWS and PWSA USA a real presence on Capitol Hill. So Charles and I actually had the opportunity to do this in person last week with a group called Patients Rising Now, which is another advocacy organization that works with all sorts of different rare diseases throughout the United States. And Charles, can you just maybe talk a little bit about what that experience was like as a first-timer?
Yeah, as a first-timer, I tell you, the experience was absolutely amazing. To be around a large group of people who maybe not dealing with the same situation as PWS, but have some similarities in the conditions that they may be dealing with their kids, and not just with their kids. With this fly-in, it was just patient issues. It was amazing just to go in and talk to the congressmen and women or their staffers and just enlighten them on the things that we were having issues with, and just to have their ear. So I think it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really invigorating. And, Charles and I were exceptionally brave, and we decided to take families in tow. And since we both have young children with PWS who can't speak for themselves yet, we took our young children with PWS and courted them around the Capitol. And it was just such an amazing reception from the staff and the members and the panelists. It was a lot of work, but really exciting. So I want to mention a little bit about what we're looking to do when we go up there in September for the first time. So, listen, we know that there's a lot of stuff in the PWS community that we just really have to get done. This is our first trip to Capitol Hill as an organization, so we want to do several things. Number one, we know we have PWS Awareness Month. It's the month of May. We're hoping to get a member of Congress to sponsor May 15th as PWS Awareness Day in the nation, which, it's a really nonpartisan issue. It's super easy. Everybody wants to be able to do something good like this. And, it's been a really long time since our nation's government has done anything to recognize PWS. So we want to just give them an opportunity to relearn what our condition is about and what our loved ones with PWS are actually dealing with. There's a couple of other things that we're dealing with. Obviously, one of the big issues that we deal with on a regular basis right now is the STAT Act. And for those of you who don't know what that is, basically the STAT Act helps create a center of excellence at the FDA. And why is that important for our community? Because we all know what's been going on with the FDA over the last, 16 months, several years, couple decades, half a century. It would be really nice if the rare disease community had their own center of excellence that would process, orphan drugs for the rare disease community instead of lumping us in with every single other drug that's out there. Our community really we need therapies, we need them fast. So this would just be an amazing opportunity for us. And we're hoping to get a member of Congress to sponsor us for some DOD grant funding opportunities. I'm not going to bore you guys with the specifics of all of that. But just know that we're hoping that this will give the community, the entire PWS community, an opportunity to get some research grant funded by our U.S. government. So that's a little bit of what we're hoping to achieve during the trip. but I'm going to pass it back off to Charles. And Charles, I just wanted to ask you if you could maybe just share, you've been really heavily involved for this past year with PWSA USA. And if you could just talk a little bit about why you feel it's so important to be an advocate, and especially to be an advocate within the PWS community, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Great question. I tell you, first and foremost, one of the reasons why I'm more involved in the PWS community is I have a daughter that's 2 years old who has PWS. So for me, that's one of the key reasons for me getting involved. But I tell you, for everybody else, I think being an advocate is very important for the PWS community, because not a lot of people understand what PWS is other than what they find on the internet, which can sometimes be wrong or misleading. And being an advocate, we're the ones who actually see it, have a front row seat to every action that our child may be dealing with. And being an advocate gives us a chance to put our voice out there and let everyone know that we talk to. And here are the issues that we're dealing with firsthand. And like Dorothea said, bringing the kids was a great option for us, because it allowed the congressmen and women and also the other individuals at the other advocates and patients that were there to see firsthand, the issues that our kids may be dealing with. So to me, being an advocate, especially in the PWS community, gives us the chance to put our journeys out there before everybody so they can see what it is. And also another way for them to reach out to us and learn a lot about PWS for those who don't know anything about it.
That's great. Thanks so much, Charles. That's awesome. One question that I've gotten from a lot of people is, more of a comment or a fear, that is, I've never done this before. I've never met with my elected official. How do I talk to them? What do I do? Well, you know what? We have a lot of really great opportunities coming up over the next coming months that's going to help you, kind of just get your grounding. First and foremost, in July, we're having one of our Advocacy in Action webinars. It's going to be July 25th. We have it's effective communication with elected officials and stakeholders. It's a virtual roundtable and panel discussion. Again, it's going to be July 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We have 4 confirmed elected officials that will be attending. One who we have as a tentative. We have a member, state senator from Florida. We have a member of staff from U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar's office that will be in attendance. We have a state House delegate member from Maryland and a state representative from New England. And hopefully we're going to have U.S. Senator Boozman's office as well, which Charles has really been working on for us. So they're going to talk to us and do a roundtable, just kind of give everybody an idea of, what the expectation is when you meet with your elected officials, how to talk to them, why it's important to engage with staff, why it's important not to notice the age of the staff person that you're speaking with, because as Charles, I'm sure can tell you, last week in DC, I mean, you walk into some of these offices and you're like, what are you, 20 years old?
Right.
But you know what? These staffers are the ones that are making a lot of these decisions, and they have got their members' ear. So, we're going to be going all over all of those questions. You're going to get to hear directly from elected officials from throughout the United States and staff members. So, you know what? If you're nervous, come join us, ask your questions. That's a great place to get them answered. And then in August, the month before our fly-in, we have Jim Sleeney, who, Charles, you got to meet on this trip.
Yeah.
Jim is with Patients Rising Now, and he is going to teach us all about how to craft our story. So we will have an opportunity to work with Jim. He can work with you during the webinar. He can work with you after the webinar. He can work with you before the webinar and just kind of help you get your footing and how to give your elevator pitch, right? Your 2-minute pitch, your 5-minute pitch, and maybe a 10-minute pitch, probably not that long. And we're going to be working on stuff like putting together op-eds. Charles and I were just talking about that. Charles, you're working on one right now, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So we got getting an op-ed piece together, getting your 600 or 750 words out to just your local media outlets, your national media outlets. You never know who's going to take up your piece and want to do a story. I know that, I did one before the Patients Rising fly-in last week, and we've got our local ABC news station coming out to the house to do an interview all about hunters. So we're really excited about that. But guys, people can't help a condition if they don't know it exists. So we've got to show them. We've got to talk to them about PWS. We've got to put it in their face. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to do this with you. I'm excited that Charles is my partner in crime.
Yes, I am too.
And you are too. Awesome. So, if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about coming and you haven't done the application yet, do it. We've got quite a few applications. We got quite a few in the first 24 hours. And we have a limited amount of spots that we can fund. But even when we get to that point, if we can't fund any more spots, registration is free. You guys are welcome to come, and the more the merrier. So we're looking forward to it. Charles, do you have anything else that you want to add?
Only thing I would add is, one that I mentioned earlier about having a daughter is 2.5, right? And so that's why it's important for me to be involved, and then as also my family. But more importantly, for my daughter, it's extremely important for her, for me to be an advocate. One, because right now she's not really verbal, so I have to be that advocate, the one to come forward with all the issues and be able to explain to the congressmen and women, the people who make the decision, who can make things happen in the future for us, and let them understand, hey, here's the issues that my child is dealing with. Here's what I need from you as a congressman and woman. And by you doing those actions, this is what they will be able to do for me, not only just me, but for my daughter, not just my daughter, but the PWS community as a whole. So just think about it as an advocate coming to this event. You're not just speaking for yourself. You're speaking for the whole PWS community. And what I like to always say is, many voices is louder than one voice. So I can go in there alone. They'll hear me and they'll understand my situation, but I'm only talking to one person. So if I had 50 of you coming out there and helping me talk to several different people, that's 50 voices. And if they hear it and then they get tied to a caucus, or they just be in a meeting and say, hey, did you talk to somebody from PWSA about PWS? So now they develop a communication amongst each other, and they can just pass it on. So to me, just being an advocate and coming to this event is, to me, very powerful for what you're looking for in the future, so our kids can have an independent life, have a better quality of life. And we have to be the one to voice that to everybody.
Agree. One voice. It's up to us, right?
That's it.
Parents did it before us. We got to do it for the next generation, and it takes a village. It will take all of us to get stuff done. So thank you so much, Charles.
Strength in numbers. Strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. I love it, Charles. You're going to be in charge of one of our meeting groups. You're going to be on. You're going to take the lead. All right. So listen, you guys know how to reach PWSA USA. We're really looking forward to this. If anybody has questions, just give us a shout out, send us an email, shoot us a text, hit up Charles on Facebook.
Yeah, please do. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Before we go, it's just one other thing is, I'd say, this being my first fly-in, I was very nervous. I felt I was very unprepared. And I'm sure some of the individuals that we're asking to join us will probably feel the same way, but I would say it's okay. To me, if you're not nervous and you feel like you're unprepared, then to me, I'm like, yeah, we got a little work to do. So I would tell them, just don't be afraid. Come and join us. You will learn a whole lot. You'll understand how to talk to congressmen and understand that, hey, they're humans too. They understand the story, but we got to present it to them. They want to help us. But in order to get the help, we got to tell them our story. So don't be afraid. Join us. And trust me, it will prepare you to be able to talk to anybody to ask you a question in reference to PWS.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I couldn't have said that better myself, Charles. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. We'll see you there.